Yeah, Punnett squares, Punnett squares, Punnett squares. Back at it again. So, as promised, told you I was going to come back with a dihybrid example, and I'm a man of my word. We are going to do just that. So, first thing is we are looking at two traits. Remember, dihybrid, two, writing two up there, two traits, right? So, the thing we're going to look for, trait number one, big feet, where big F is dominant for big feet. Big feet is going to be our dominant trait, and our second trait we're going to look at is a long nose, which is going to be dominant, represented by the allele or the letter N. That is our second trait, right? So both of these parents are heterozygous. What does that mean, Mr. Scott? Well, we know from our intro to genetics video, heterozygous means different. We're going to have different letters, different size letters, right? So both of them are going to be heterozygous for both traits. So parent number one is going to be big F, little f for feet, and big N, little n. Second parent is going to be big F, big N, little n, right? So first we have to figure out our gametes, and we're going to stick with our same thing we did before as far as FOIL, right? So we're going to go our first here. We're going to use same colors, and we go first, and we end up with big N or big F, big N. We're going to go outside here, gives us big F, little n. We're going to go inside here, which gets us little f, big N. And then we're going to go last here, which gives us little f, little n. Now we're going to repeat the same thing with second parent. We're going to go first, big F, big N, outside, big F, little n, inside, little f, big N, and out, or last, keep wanting to call that outside. This is last. You're going to get little f and little n. So now I'm going to take this first parent, and they're going to get lined up here. So we're going to go this parent here. So big F, big N, big F, little n, little f, little n, and little f, little n. I'm going to take this parent, come here. So we have big F, big N, little f, little n, little f, little n, and again, little f, little n. Now, nothing changes as far as the way we do Punnett squares, right? We're going to follow this the same way. So these letters are going to come across in these boxes. I'm going to draw a little arrow here and out. It's going to follow the same thing. And then this big F, big N is going to come down in every box, just like we would if it was 4 squares, right? So if we were to look at this, what two F's go here, right? So we're going to have big F, big F's, right? And then down here in the corner, we're going to put big N, big N. So when we go to cross them, the F's are going to stay together, the N's are going to stay together, right? So we know that F and N is dominant. So what I'm going to do to make this easier is I'm just going to write big F in every box and big N, because I know dominant is always going to come first, right? You can do that all the way down if you want. Now, let's go across. Well, let's just do this. Make it a little bit easier. Let's do each column first, right? So now, if I'm looking at this, we have a big F and a little n, right? So big F goes there, Little n goes there. Little f in this box, little f goes here, little n goes here, little f here, little n, right? We're going to do the same thing because I know big F, little n in this box is going to come down. This is the same thing I used when I had to learn this stuff. So again, because I know F is dominant, I'm going to go ahead and write it first because I know it's always going to be the first letter. Now, I don't know what's going to cross yet, so I'm just going to put little n second because it's going to come second, right? So let's look at what's coming across. Another big F. This time we have a big N. Big F coming across, little n. We have a little f, little n, and then a little f and a little n. Sorry if that looks like an M. That's supposed to be two N's. Let's see if I can make that look better. N, N. Boom. All right. So again, we know this time we have our recessives. So we're going to write that second, leave some space just because we're not sure what's coming over yet. But we know that recessive is going to have to be second. So we want to leave some space for whatever may be coming in first. Here, little f's all the way down, little n's, right? So let's look at what's coming across. Here we go. Big F, big N. Coming across, big F, little n. Little f, little n, and then little f, little n. Boom, we're almost done. Next, same thing here. I'm going to write all my little f's coming down and all my little n's coming down because I know this is going to be in every box. Now let's look at what's coming across. Big F, big N, big F, little n, little f, little n, and then little f, little n. Now, this is the fun part. We're going to look at each genotype or each code that we came up with that we could have possibly had. And this is where we're going to keep everything together, right? So we have, let's look at all the genotypes we have. We have big F, big F, big N, big N. So let's write that down. Then we have little or big F, little n, or big N, little n, I'm sorry. Big F, little n. We have big F, big N. We also have big F, big N, little n. We have little f, big N, big N. We have little f, big N, little n. And we have little f, little n, little n. Okay? Everybody understand how we got that? So what we did is I just went through and I looked at each of the different codes or the combinations we could have. So that is our genotype. When we ask for genotype, we're looking for the code, the letters. What are the different combinations that we had? Now, when we look at our probabilities, well, it looks like I am missing one somewhere. Let's see. Can you see which ones I'm missing? I found it. So we were also missing big F, and then little n, little n. There we go. 9 different combinations. Because it was 16 boxes, now it's going to be out of 16. Okay? Alrighty, so now we have our genotypes correctly now, have them all listed out. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to go through and we're going to count off every one of big F or big F, big F, big N that we have. A couple things you can do. If you have different colors, you can shade, you can put a little marking, whatever you need to do to make sure it's easy to look at. So what I am going to do is I'm going to make some little circles for big F, big F, big N, big N. So we have one here, and I'm looking around, looking around, looking around. I do not have any other big F, little, or big N, big N's. So that is 1 out of 16. So every other genotype, because we know we have 16 possible choices, it's going to be out of 16. Okay, so let's look at big F, big N, little n. How many of those do we have? And we go, let's see, big F, and we have big N, little n. So I'm just going to do a little shade. And then again, I'm looking for big F, big N, little n, and another little shade there. And I'm looking. I don't have another one. So we have 2 out of 16. So if I were to go through, that's how we're going to do for each one. So big F, little n, we have 1 out of 16 chance. Big F, big N, we have 2. Big F, big N, little n is 4. So I'm going to use my red to find that. So we have big F, big N, little n. We have it again here. And we have it again here. And again here. So those are our 4 for big F, big N, little n. And then we're going to look for little f, big N, which gives us 1. Little f, big N, little n is 2. Bit or little f, little n is 1. And then big F, little n gives us 2. Okay? That's what we're looking at, right? So now we want to know what the phenotype is. So we're going to have 4 different phenotypes. We could have big feet with a long nose, which is big F and a big N. We have a 9 out of 16 chance. So you find all the ones that are going to have, we know if it's a big F, we know the dominant trait is going to show. And if it's a big N, we know the dominant trait is going to show, which is a long nose. So now we just count up and add up however many ones that we have. So we have 1 plus 2 plus 5. So we have 3, 5, 9. 9 out of 16. Because we don't count these, because as you can see, it doesn't have a big F. No big F, no big F, big F, but no little n. So it has to have both a big F and a big N. We have a 9 out of 16 shot. Okay. Second phenotype we can see, where we can actually see the trait: big feet, short nose. Turn off my alarm here. So, which means it has to have both big F and it has to have 2 little N's. We only have a The only one that we have that has that is here. So we got a big F, two little N's. That's two. And then we have another one here with big F, two little N's. So we have a 3 out of 16 shot. Our next phenotype, little feet and a long nose, which means it has to have two little F's and it has to have at least one big N. For that combination, there are 3 genotypes that get us that phenotype. So as you can see here, this is one, little f, big N, happened twice, little f, big N is once, which is how we got 3. And then our last one is little feet with a short nose. So I am going to put that here. Hopefully you can see that. Little feet, short nose. These are both recessive traits, which means they both have to have the small letters. So we have to have the little f and a combination of little n. And we find, where is it? Here it is. Little f, little n. That only happened once. So of us actually seeing a person with little feet and a short nose, we have a 1 out of 16 shot. So, which means if we look at this again, genotype is the code, phenotype is based on the code. What will you actually see? And this is how you do it. So, for any combination that had at least a big F and at least a big N, you look through those combinations, you add up what you have. That's how we got 9 out of 16. And you follow that for each phenotype. Guys, this has been everything on Dihybrid and the examples. Again, you will never have to draw out a square, at least during ninth grade. So always refer to this video if you need help. Come see me for tutorials. Until next time, peace.